Unwholesome talk. So here's the thing I wanted to talk about with unwholesome talk. Is the thing I wanted to focus on is stop swearing and using curse words. So in the United States, the average American utters 80 to 90 curse or swear words every day. Every day. And you see 6 in 10 people use the F word as part of their daily conversation in their language. Studies show that in the United States, cursing has been growing year by year by year, just like anger has. So it's at the level, I'm like, wow, 80 to 90 curse words a day. Some Americans utter way more. This is the average. And then some Christians probably only do 3 or 4 curse words a day. Okay, so it averages out to 80 or 90. The only ones that basically aren't cursing, by the way, or not that bad, is the older generation. Not the baby boomers. The baby boomers curse like crazy. But those of you that are like 75 and up, maybe you don't curse as much. But once your generation moves on, the whole rest, it's our language, we're cursing, we're swearing. So let me give you a theological, first, a couple of things that I've noticed. I notice now when I go to stores or we visit people, my wife and I, we do not curse or swear. And I don't care how much the person I talk to swears or curse. But I notice now, because it's become so part of how people talk, that I'll talk to someone for about 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes, now, I am not dressed like a preacher. I don't tell them I'm a preacher. I'm not witnessing about Jesus yet. But after about 5 minutes of them cursing and swearing, they'll say to me, hey, are you a preacher? And I go to myself, what is it? I didn't say I was a preacher. I'm dressed normal, and I think it's because they've noticed that I'm not swearing or cursing. So I think it's become, if you don't swear or curse, I think people will figure out within like 5-10 minutes, hey, wait a second, you're one of those crazy Christians, aren't you? So if you're not hearing that, maybe it's because you're joining right in. I know I shouldn't confess this, I was at Rogers, and I was amazed how many of the people there use the N-word like crazy. You would think that wouldn't even be kosher today. But the cursing, the N-words, I just was like, wow. So theologically, and I actually agree with some of this, we don't have time to go into this, but theologically, some say that God moves through the prayers of the saints. Now, I don't believe God's hindered by if no one prays, he can't move. But there is a line of thinking that God, the angels, the Holy Spirit waits for the prayers of the saints to activate their action. That's why Jesus talks so much about praying and the benefits of praying. And if, whatever you ask, seek, knock, if you believe, it will be done for you. So the power of prayer unlocks the hands of God. Now, I don't take that to the extreme. I don't think God is like, oh, I can't do anything unless you pray, okay? But does everyone understand, the other extreme is I don't need to pray at all because God just does whatever he does. And so there's power in prayer to unlock the movement of God. So cursing and swearing, theologically, unlocks the demons and the false angels and Satan. That they can't do anything until you pray to them, unlocking their ability. So when you're driving down the road and someone cuts you off and you curse at that person, you have unlocked the demon that's there to now go and curse that person. Just as if you're praying a godly prayer. When someone curses and you bless, you're unlocking a blessing upon that person. What scares me is that in the country today, in the United States, so many people are cursing and swearing and unlocking the demonic forces. So not only is there this inner anger and people aren't getting along and love is gone and the truth of Jesus Christ, but we're all, by our swearing and cursing, whether you're cursing a material thing or a person or a situation, we're all unlocking Satan's kingdom and domain, and he's having a heyday. He's loving it. It's like, wow, look at all the damage that I can do because people are praying, curse this. God, you're not praying to this God, our God, when you go, God, D, that. You're praying to the God of this world, Satan, to D, that, to whatever you're saying. So I'm just warning you so you understand what you're doing when you're cursing or getting upset, angry, and you go, God, what? That's not the Father, because he says you're supposed to return good for evil and blessing for cursing. You are releasing Satan's power to do damage.